Next, we got freaking I Spy Challenge from Scholastic for the Game Boy Advance. This game is an interesting case because I actually got this game from a Scholastic magazine. So, when I was a kid in not in middle school, but elementary school, we have this like magazine that's handed to us in school, like in I think March, like around March, we'll get like this magazine for with books that we can order online and just buy and read because it's like trying to promote reading to kids. Like, hey kids, you should read more books. Go to the library, rent some books, or better yet, go to Scholastic online and buy some Harry Potter books, or buy what else? What else did we read as a kid? Like Win Dixie. Why don't you go read some Dixie, kids? Everybody's favorite book series. But yeah, Scholastic. I didn't buy too many books from Scholastic when I was a kid. I think I bought a SpongeBob pirate joke book when I was a kid, and I also bought this. I actually bought I Spy the View game from the Game Boy Advance from the Scholastic magazine. Believe it or not, I freaking saw Sonic 06 for 360, Xbox 360 was in a Scholastic magazine. It's a freaking book magazine. Why is Sonic 06 in a book magazine where you buy books? Is that supposed to be like an educational game, Sonic 06, for the Xbox 360? Why? Why is that game there? Enough. Ratatouille, too. I freaking saw Ratatouille for the Xbox 360 in a Scholastic magazine when I was a kid. And I was like, why? At least I Spy Challenge. That's like a book reading game. I Spy with my little eye. It's like a series of books. It's based off of a book series. I Spy. So it makes sense that an I Spy game based off the book would be in a book magazine. Same thing with was it Goosebumps? If there's a Goosebumps video game like Goosebumps Return to Monsterland or whatever it's called, that game for the Wii, it makes sense to be in a Scholastic magazine for books because, it's based off a book. It's a video game based on a book. So put it in a book magazine. Why is freaking Ratatouille and Sonic 06 in a book magazine? Okay, I digress. I digress, everyone. So, yeah, I'm just saying, Sonic 06 I saw, and Ratatouille I saw, both in a freaking Scholastic magazine for buying books. I don't know why they were there, but they were freaking there. But anyway, I Spy, is it any good? Yeah, it's pretty good. All you do in this game is like you read like a sentence that says, "I spy with my little eye, find the ladybug," and you gotta go look at a map and find the ladybug. And it's a pretty challenging game. It's pretty fun, and there's other game modes too, not just find the object in a photo. You also gotta like play like this mini game where you can match well, it's not like a matching, but you have like three hula hoops. One's blue, one is red, and one's green. And they give you like random objects, like a bucket, a doll, or something like that. And then it's like, your doll is blue. Find the blue hula hoop and put the doll in the blue hula hoop. Or this one is green and blue. Put it in the hula hoop that's connected to both green and blue, etc., etc., etc. So it's like an organization game where you gotta organize your culling collectible things. So like put the red trophy in the red hula hoop, put the green trophy in the green hula hoop, and then this one's both green and red. Put it in the middle of both, or something like that. But anyway, it's fun. I give it like a 6 out of 10. It's definitely worth buying if you can get for like $6. I think I got this game for like I think I bought this game for $20 at the book magazine thing when I was a kid in elementary school. But anyway, yeah, decent game. I give it like a 6 out of 10. Next, I got freaking Bionicles. How do you say that? Matoan Adventures. Matoan Adventures, I think. Matoana? Matoana? I think it's Bionicles Matoa Adventures, something like that. Anyway, I paid $8 for this game at a flea market. And yeah, it's pretty good. I remember Okay, so the reason why I bought this game for $8 because I saw it and was like, oh, a Bionicles game for the Game Boy Advance. I know somebody who had this game, and I want to buy this game too because I saw them play this game and it looked like fun. So long story short, I went to I think my cousin's wedding, and my cousin had kids, and the kids were playing Bionicles with the Game Boy Advance, and I was the same age as their kids. So I was like, I don't know how you say it, but it's my cousin, but it's my cousin's kids. So how do I say that? It's not like niece and nephew. It's my cousin. But anyway, their kids were playing Barnacle Heroes, and their kids were the same age as me, or like roughly the same age as me. And I was like, hey, can I play some Barnacle, whatever it's called, with you guys? And they're like, hey, no, but you can watch. And I do remember they were playing this game. I didn't know the name of it, but I looked online and it was this. So I was like, hey. I found this at a flea market now, and I remember, my cousins playing this. I mean, not my cousins, but you know what I'm saying. It's my cousin's kids playing this game, and they liked it. So I was like, hey, I should buy it too. And you know what? It's pretty freaking decent. It's not like the best game I ever played in my life, but it's pretty decent. I'll give it like a 6 out of 10. But yeah, all you do in this game is like a 2D platforming game where you gotta get from point A to point B, and you play as two Bionicles at the same time. It's one that has a frisbee that can toss, and the other one can only stop on the ground. So it's like a big buff Bionicle that can stop on the ground, and that helps you, break obstacles like a I don't know, like a bridge that's on the ground that's blocking your path. You can break the bridge and fall to the ground, get into the hole of the ground. And you can also break like walls with the big buff Barnacle. But yeah, you got one big one and one tiny one with a frisbee. And you fight boss battles in this game, fight little mini enemies and all that stuff. It's pretty fun, 6 out of 10. But even though there's nothing left in this case, I actually got like a few more Game Boy Advance games that are completely missing. I have no idea where they are. One of them is Battle for Bikini Bottom for the Game Boy Advance. I used to have Battle for Bikini Bottom for the Game Boy Advance, but it wasn't my game. It was my sister's game. And we used to play a lot. She got that game for Christmas, the same exact time I got Finding Nemo for the Game Boy Advance. So, yeah, this game, Finding Nemo for the Game Boy Advance, I got the same time as my sister for Christmas. And this is my first game for the Game Boy Advance, and Battle for Bikini Bottom was her first game for the Game Boy Advance. And yeah, we used to play those games a lot as a kid. And I even remember the password for Battle for Bikini Bottom for the Game Boy Advance that took me to the final level of the game. And it's not even a hard password to remember. It's like 0Z, 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 and that's it. Then you beat the entire game. You get to the final boss with like that password. I don't know exactly what it is. I think it's 0Z, 0Z, or it could be Z, 0Z, 0Z. Either way, one of those two is the freaking password to like beat the entire game. I know it's a very easy password to remember, but that's like the password to that game. But anyway, we lost that game a long time ago, and I think what happened was okay. So so yeah, long story short, I lost my blue Game Boy Advance when I was a kid. I don't know exactly where it is. I think I left it at the mechanic place because my mom had a station wagon that she used to drive me around in when I was a kid to like Sunday school and preschool in. And it was like the big family wagon that we travel around town in. It had like a little mini TV in it, so it's like it's like an RV kind of, but it's not an RV. It had like cabinets in there. It had a TV in there, but that was about it. It didn't have like a sink. It didn't have a bathroom in there, but it's a little mini van. It was pretty cozy and stuff. But she used to have that. It broke down one day, and we left it at the mechanic shop, which included leaving my Game Boy Advance in there, and we never got the car fix. I was a little kid then. They didn't tell me anything. She didn't tell me she was just gonna dump it and leave it there. and then they were gonna scrap it for parts, and she sold it to them and scrapped it for parts. But she never told me she did that, and because that little old me, I just thought we don't get the van back one day, and we never did get the van back. So I ended up losing that Game Boy Advance, the blue Game Boy Advance I had as a kid, and it was gone. But that game had, what is it, Battlefield Bomb in it, and it had one last game in it. It was Spy Kids 3D. So we had Battlefield Bomb for the Game Boy Advance and Spy Kids 3D in that case. But yeah, out of 10, I'd give Battlefield Bomb like a 5 out of 10. Even when I was a kid, I knew it wasn't a very good game. It was like a 2D platforming puzzle-solving game where you gotta deactivate this robot and push this robot to this location so you can platform on the robot and get the key. And once you get enough keys, you can beat the level. That's it. And I mean, there's also a little not Kobe, but a Yoshi mechanic with the Mystery of the Seahorse, where you can ride Mystery of the Seahorse, and she can eat walls, like there's like walls made of coal that she can eat, and that can help you get to the next area. And she can also glide and eat bombs and carry the bomb to a location to blow up a wall, a mechanical wall, and all that stuff. But yeah, it wasn't like the best amazing game on the planet. It's like a 5 out of 10. Though the boss battles in that game are fun. When you're fighting Patrick, when you're fighting Squidward, when you're fighting Sandy and Robot SpongeBob, those are fun boss fights. It's just the main bulk of the game sucks. It's just a very boring and bland platforming game. But the boss battles are fun. So it's like a 5 out of 10, but once you get to the boss battles, it becomes like a 6 out of 10. So it's hard to describe, but yeah, it's like, okay, so I'll give it like a 5.5 out of 10. It's for the most part a very bland and boring game. Just the mini bosses or the boss fights, those are the most fun you could possibly have in the game. So yeah, if you like SpongeBob and if you want good boss fights, get the game for like $2. I mean, the boss fights are fun, so just get the game for like $2 and, get a cheat code and play the boss fights. So they're worth it. But is it, the most amazing game on the planet? Freaking no. And then let's talk about Spy Kids 3D Game Over for the Game Boy Advance. That game I bought for brand new at Walmart with my own money. I bought it brand new for $40, and it came with I think it came with 3D glasses. I'm not too sure, but I think it did, because there's like a feature in the game where you can look at concept art or like cutscenes that are like in 3D, and that's a cool mechanic, I guess. But yeah, I think it came with 3D glasses too. But was the game any good? Actually, freaking yes, it's a very fun game. And I wish I still had it, but I lost it many years ago. And I can emulate it now. I can emulate it on my PSP, my PS Vita, or I can emulate it on the PC if I want to. And it's definitely worth it. It's like a 7 out of 10 game. It's not better than Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with Game Boy Advance, but it's still a good game. It's like a 7 out of 10 game. It has a lot of fun mechanics. You can use different gadgets to help you fight enemies and stuff. Like you can use a staff, you can use your fists. You can use a gun, and then in one level you got like a little mech suit you can use. Well, not a little mech suit, it's actually a pretty big mech suit that you can use to fight enemies as well. It's just an overall a very fun 2D beat 'em up. Well, it's not a beat 'em up per se, it's like a 2D platformer with beat 'em up mechanics in it, but still very fun, 7 out of 10. Even if you don't like Spy Kids the movie, it's definitely worth your time to buy and play. But yeah, that's my entire Game Boy Advance collection. I got 2 missing games, and everything else is right here in front of your eyes. And yeah, out of 10, it's definitely worth your time. I don't even know why I said out of 10, because that's about it. But yeah, with that said, I bet you're wondering how do I play these Game Boy Advance games? Because I lost my Game Boy Advance. I lost my blue Game Boy Advance a long time ago. Well, don't you worry about that, because I got a red Game Boy Advance. And this is not my Game Boy Advance. This is my sister's Game Boy Advance. So because she stopped playing video games a long time ago, she gave this to me. And since I lost my blue Game Boy Advance a long time ago, now I have the red Game Boy Advance, which is pretty okay, pretty good. But yeah, I have this, and I also have a DS Lite, which I can play, Game Boy Advance games on. But we'll get to that when we get to that, because I just finished Game Boy Advance. Maybe one day I'll do DS, then 3DS, then PSP, and etc, etc. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, everyone, and take care. See you guys later. Done.